Jy luister na RSG Geldsaake met Moneyweb potgoeie met gasheer Ryk van die Kerk. Vir die belangrikste sakenuus, skakel in op RSG Geldsaake.
Sake-eenheid Suid-Afrika en Besigheid vir Suid-Afrika is twee organisasies wat die private sektor verteenwoordig en beide het 'n beroep op die president gedoen om nie die nasionale gesondheidsversekeringswet te teken nie. Hulle voer aan dat die wet in sy huidige vorm ongrondwetlik is en dat dit wesenlike skade aan die private gesondheidsorgbedryf gaan aanrig as dit bekragtig word. Nou, die wet lê op die oomblik op die president se lesenaar en sy handtekening is al wat nodig is om dit in werking te stel, maar hy het egter twee opsies. Die eerste is om dit te teken en die tweede ene is om dit na die parlement terug te gooi vir wysiging. Nou, die jongste beroep op die president om nie sy pen op te tel nie volg na berigte dat hy voor die verkiesing dat hy dit voor die verkiesing gaan teken net as 'n verkiesingsfoefie en om daardeur die regerende party te help. Cash Kovadia is die uitvoerende hoof van Sake-eenheid Suid-Afrika. Cash, thank you so much for your time tonight. When I saw the announcements of BLSA and BUSA, I thought, what we've been here for many years. There's been a lot of criticism of the NHI, and there's been a lot of pushback from the private sector. Is it not inevitable that this case will end up in the Constitutional Court?
Hi, and thanks for having me. Yeah, look, we've been at this for a while, and just to clarify that we haven't pushed back against the NHI. We've pushed back against the NHI in its current form. We believe the NHI, with the necessary changes, is a good instrument for us to actually work between the public and private healthcare sectors to put us on the road to universal healthcare. So that's been our sort of position. I look, the inevitability of it going to court, I think the president signs it in its current form. Somebody will take it to court, whether it's us, whether it's somebody else is not the issue, but it will go to court. We would prefer it not going to court, but if the president signed, we might have to consider that option. And we would prefer it not going to court because then this thing gets stuck in court because there are clear constitutional issues. And the intention of the bill then gets delayed. So to say that because the president signed the bill in its current form that we're now going to, or the government can now implement it and we get on the road to universal healthcare, it's just not going to happen. There are a whole range of issues that need to be dealt with besides the constitutional issues ending up in court. We don't have the money for this. It's not only a health bill, it's a money bill because we need to look at where we get the money. We don't have the capability in government to manage a 400 billion rand a year fund, and it puts severe concentration risk into a single fund. We in the bill in its current form is crowding out the private sector instead of crowding it in, and we could have doctors and others leaving for other pastures. So it's all unnecessary negativity that we don't need in this country. We're working with government in partnership, and we're making progress on energy, logistics, crime, and corruption. There's no reason why we can't work in partnership on health, and that's what we're appealing to the president to actually do, to enable us to work in partnership in the health area as well.
Well, that begs the question, why isn't government taking more cognizance of the private sector's position, like is the case in the logistics and energy sectors? But there's a lot of speculation or views from pretty prominent individuals that this may be an election ploy. The ANC is losing support, and there is a view that the ANC is trying to ram through this NHI bill to win votes in the election. Do you agree with this?
Well, I've seen that as well. I don't know. I mean, it would be inappropriate for me to say whether I agree or disagree because I just don't know whether that's the intention is. But, one would, given that this is sitting at the president's desk, so we've got to talk about what the president can do about it. And what we would urge is that on something as important as this, president acts as the president of this country and not as the president of the ANC. as the president of this country, he's got to see that it's not a bill he should be putting into law at this point in time until he refers it back to Parliament to consider the constitutional implications, to consider the implications of process and consultation that we've also raised, to consider the implications of if this lands up in court, how long it will take, and it costs the government money, and it just leads to all sorts of negative relationships that are unnecessary. We can avoid all of that.
We've spoken on this show on numerous occasions about the proposed NHI bill, and there are many, many opposing views. But from your perspective, how far are the parties from each other? Is there a possibility to get common ground in the middle to make this work?
We think there is. We're not. I mean, it's a matter. It's a mindset issue. And we thought that given the other work we're doing with government, we move beyond questions on whether the public and private sector can work together. I think that what needs to, if we actually have a mindset on both sides, that there are strengths and weaknesses, both in the public and private healthcare sector. We need to address the weaknesses in both. We need to utilize the strength in both to actually optimize our ability to move toward universal healthcare. If that's the mindset, then we can find each other. But if the mindset is that, no, we're going to go it alone, we're going to rush this through for whatever reason, then we can't find each other. So I think, it's sitting on the president's desk. The president has to make those considerations.
Kees, baie dankie vir jou tyd vanaand. Dit was Kees Kawadia. Hy is die uitvoerende hoof van Sake Eenheid Suid-Afrika. Theo, dis 'n debat wat nou al lank kom en ek het verskeie van die menings gesien dat die ANC wil hierdie ding deur die regering, deur die parlement druk dat dit een van die beloftes is wat gemaak is 5 jaar gelede en wat nog nie gebeur het nie.
Jy is korrek, Ryk. Ek dink wat Kees heeltemal reg is, daar's geen Suid-Afrikaner wat reken dat almal behoort die toegang te kry na kwaliteit mediese sorg nie. Die beginsel stem ons almal mee saam. Die vraag is, hoe kry mense dit reg in 'n land soos Suid-Afrika? En ek dink mense moet 'n groot verskil maak tussen watse mediese dienste jy kan lewer en watse mediese dienste jy eenvoudig voor moet betaal wat jy nie kan lewer nie. En in geen land in die wêreld waar jy nie daarvoor betaal het jy mediese dienste op aanvraag nie. Daar's 'n stelsel, maar in Suid-Afrika het hierdie mense wat dit kan bekostig, kan besluit wat 'n diens hy wil hê. En dit kan nie werk in 'n groter stelsel wat hierdie staat befonds word nie. So daar sal moet 'n middeweg gekry word, maar ek dink jy moet nooit die morele onderbou van 'n politikus oorskat nie. Pas op daarvoor. Ons is in verkiesingstyd. Dis so goed soos jy doen aansoek vir 'n werk en jy is nie heeltemal seker jy is gekwalifiseer nie. Dis wat politici in verkiesings doen. Hulle probeer stemme kry en as hulle primêre doelwit is om stemme te kry sodat hulle 'n werk kan hê na die verkiesing. Dis tog waaroor 'n verkiesing gaan.
Jy het geluister na RSG Geldsaake met Moneyweb Potgoe elke weekdag om 7 namiddag. Vir meer Moneyweb Potgoe, besoek moneyweb.co.za of laai die toepassing af en volg Moneyweb News om dagliks op hoogte te bly.